This is the Experience Pros Radio Show. Got an opinion or want to ask us a question? Email radio@experiencepros.com or message us on the Experience Pros Facebook page, and we'll interact with you live on the show.
Hey, welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show, the home of positive business talk. Angel Tussey and Eric Kramer helping you get your business right.
We are. We're going to give you some powerful techniques for you to become a better public speaker, which I'm super excited about. Our guest is Paul Geiger, author of Better Business Speech, Techniques, Tricks, and Shortcuts for Public Speaking at Work. Because when you can master public speaking, our guest says, and you can execute a presence that conveys clear thinking and confident body language. Paul Geiger is an accomplished actor, a seasoned speech coach, and of course, author of the book, Better Business Speech. Paul Geiger, welcome to Experience Pros.
Are you with us, Paul?
I really appreciate the opportunity.
There you are. We got you. Thank you so very much. Very nice to have you on the program. Paul, let's start off with this. Both Angel and I, of course, we speak for a living, but we know that people are mortified of the whole concept of public speaking. And yet when given proper tips, they realize it's not nearly as frightening as they thought it was. What percentage is the speaking side, the mental side, and what percentage of an effective presentation is, call it body language?
Well, I would say that a lot of it is mental. Yes, the mental and the physical definitely inform each other. And the physical side is definitely gesturing, but there's also a large percentage of it is really deliberate and supportive breathing. And I know that sounds so simplistic when you think about the physical side of speech because we breathe in an involuntary way all the time, but really being able to harness that vocal fuel and know that that's where you get your forward momentum from is a huge eye-opener for so many of my clients. And then as you spoke about the mental side, it's certainly being able to characterize what your message is a means of keeping you on track so that you don't lose your way in your presentation. Obviously, the physical and the mental, they both inform each other. But gesturing, of course, is a huge part of the physical side, but so is breathing.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think we've talked about and heard about gesturing, but not necessarily breathing. Is this while you're talking, or are these breathing exercises before you get up to give your presentation?
Well, no, actually, it's being aware that you are in charge of taking those deep breaths. A lot of people don't even really conceptually understand that you do breathe when you're speaking, but there is no way to make sound unless you're actually pushing the air up past your vocal cords and creating that sound. But it's more of the sensation when you are public speaking. You need to be grounded in your body. So I find that the easiest way to get people to the place where they're able to easily follow their impulses, follow those natural gestures, the kind of gestures that you have when you're talking with your friends on the back porch. Wouldn't it be nice if you could do that when you're up in front of 10 board members? Well, the way you do that is through your breathing. You're able to tap into those impulses. And I've had a lot of success getting people to open up those floodgates and then therefore feel more relaxed, more comfortable, and then project that as confidence.
Do you find that in many cases, Paul, the headline, the subject line in an email address, but when you're talking about giving a presentation, your headline, bold, powerful phrase makes a major impact on whether or not people are going to listen in the next 30 seconds?
I really do. That's a wonderful topic to speak about. I actually use the term, Eric, a bumper sticker. And the reason that I came up with that is because so many clients would say to me, well, I know what my elevator pitch is, which seems like it's a short version of what it's all about, but often the elevator pitch would be just a little too long.
Sure.
And the reason that we use a bumper sticker is not only so that listeners can process what we're talking about and be able to structure a framework, but also so that the speaker can not lose their way. It's more of a visceral characterization of what the message is that you want to get across. So it's something that you, in conjunction with good breathing, good physical forward momentum, now you suddenly have a message that's, I use the term, a plant your flag in the sand message. And if you can get through the first 10 seconds of a presentation, you're pretty much over the hardest obstacle.
Yeah.
So it's good to have these physical and mental approaches to getting over that initial surge.
We're talking with Paul Geiger, the author of the book Better Business Speech, giving you tips, techniques, tricks, and shortcuts for public speaking at work. And I know oftentimes, we're not always given a whole lot of warning sometimes at work that we need to do a presentation and to be ready. So the idea of having this book in your arsenal and already be practicing, even if you aren't typically doing presentations at work, oftentimes it can come up at the last minute. You actually, when I think about the presentations and, being super nervous or not knowing, how to kind of control or what all to say. One of the things, Paul, I often see people try to do is just put too much into their presentation. They want to give you everything and the kitchen sink, and they might only have 25 minutes to do that. What do you recommend in that situation?
Well, what I tell everyone to do is to realize that nobody can really process more than 3 ideas. So what you want to do is you want to come up with what are the 3 most important ideas you want to get across to the people you're speaking with. And then put those, if you can mentally picture this hierarchy of ideas, put those 3 reasons at the 20,000 foot level. The bumper sticker that I spoke about just a few moments ago would be up at the 40,000 foot level, and everything below 20,000 feet is what I call the weeds. And you only want to go down into that detailed area upon request or if there's a need for some sort of elaboration. But this isn't like a middle school math project where you have to show all your work. So a lot of people mistakenly think that they want to just throw the kitchen sink in there. And unless you create a strong framework for people to be able to process your ideas, they're going to lose you or you're going to lose them.
Paul, we have just about time for one more question. You talk about the energy of attention. I suspect that you're talking about kind of the roller coaster ups and downs of the attention span of your audience. Give a little bit of information around that.
Well, in terms of the attention span, actually, it's more of that energy surge right in the beginning. You actually feel it when you're in a conversation one-on-one with someone. It's just the energy of them paying attention to you and listening to what you have to say. If you were to add 3 or 4 more people into the room, you would feel all of that energy as well. And it's something that's real. It's not something that's in your head. It's always there. And I know you talked about earlier about people who are just good public speakers. It's not that they're ignoring that energy. It's not that they don't feel that energy. They've learned how to habituate with it. They've grown accustomed to it. And you have to be able to recognize that it's there and not be surprised by it, because the physical responses to being surprised and frightened by this energy is that fight or flight response that tightens up the body. And that's the one thing that you have to push back with, which is your diaphragm, your breathing, your full body expression. So you can see this can sort of send somebody into a difficult spiral.
I love it. That's Paul Geiger, Better Business Speech. Get a copy. In fact, get 2. You know somebody who needs one too. Paul, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Eric.
Folks,
thank you.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more positive business talk right after these messages.
The Experience Pros, revolutionizing the way people treat people in business.